Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona, and today's class is a 60-minute Vinyasa flow class for your whole body, designed to move in creative ways to help encourage strength, stability, active mobility and focus. I hope you enjoy, and thanks so much for joining. Namaste. And to begin your practice, find a comfortable seat so you can align your spine into a neat line. And for you, that may mean lying down in a supine position with your feet on the floor or sitting upright in a cross-legged seat. And just getting yourself comfortable. And once you're set, just gently close your eyes, dropping your gaze inwards. Bowing your chin lightly in toward your chest. Feeling your shoulders soften, your jaw relax. Allowing your hips, your buttocks, your pelvis to feel heavy, relaxing all the way down the legs to the toes. And sensing a gentle energy moving all the way up your spine to the crown of your head. So your body feels open and receptive. Inviting your awareness to spontaneously find your breath without adjusting it or influencing it in any way. Simply observing your incoming and outgoing breath. Your body breathing you. Just doing your best not to try to make your breath any better or longer. And settle here for another couple of minutes. Just allowing yourself to physically and mentally pause, observing the total stillness of your body except for the movement of your breath. And if your mind wanders to thoughts or distractions, simply observe them into your awareness as neutrally as possible. And then return to your direct experience of your body breathing. Your breath's always with you as a refocusing tool to bring you back to this present moment. And taking 3 more full cycles of breath. And as you feel yourself breathe out, just gently, chin toward the chest, head toward your heart. And blinking the eyes open. And if you're laying back there, just rolling out to one side and dragging yourself upright. And we'll make our way into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. So you're just bringing the soles of your feet together, placing your heels, knees and pelvis in a wide enough diamond so you feel easeful in your hips. And catch a hold of your ankles. And gently start to extend and round your spine. So you're lifting, arching, gazing up as you breathe in. Gently tipping back, rounding the spine as you breathe out. And just stay with that movement. And that movement might feel quite exaggerated, or you can keep it quite a subtle movement. Just lightly stretching your adductors, inner quads and hamstrings, and breathing some space into your spine. And taking one more round each way, returning to neutral. Extending your right leg out straight now and draw your left knee up to set up for a twist. Placing your left fingertips behind you, extend your right arm up toward the ceiling, extending through your spine, and as you exhale, either hinge or hug your left knee to revolve to your left. And take 3 full breaths here, keeping your right leg strong and rotated lightly inwards, so flexing the right toes, grounding the head of your thigh bone down into the floor to encourage a lift through your torso as you inhale, and revolving, twisting as you breathe out. Eyes forward on your in-breath, and exhale to release the hands. And now just allowing the left knee to relax down toward the floor, placing the sole of your left foot to the inner seam of your leg, and turn your torso slightly to the right, lining your navel up with the middle of your right thigh. Inhaling, extending your arms toward the ceiling, and as you exhale, forward fold here, extending forward from your groins, landing your hands either side of the front leg, or catching a hold of your toes, just lengthening forward into a comfortable stretch. Breathing deep. So as you pause and breathe, feeling for a sustainable sensation through the back of your right hamstrings, engaging your right quadriceps at top of the thighs to release and extend through the back seam of your leg. As you feel yourself breathe in, releasing and reversing, taking your left palm down behind you to lift your hips, pointing your right toes and sweeping your right arm up and overhead. And just pause and breathe here deeply into your right side body. Take a few breaths. And lightly landing down, taking your left heel close to your pelvis and bending your right knee, interlacing your fingers underneath your right foot to come into a seated hamstring stretch. So you tip lightly back onto the soft part of your buttocks and raising your right leg to a right angle. So when you arrive here, take another breath to lift your torso, and as you exhale, straightening through your right leg any amount without slouching or rounding through your upright spine. Invite your navel to lift toward your chest and your chest toward the crown of your head. Reach out through the heel of your foot, curl the toes back toward your face. And one more deep breath in. And exhale to release, and extend both your legs out straight now, hip width apart, and just wag and circle the feet there. And we'll set up for the opposite side, drawing your right knee in, sole of the foot to the floor, and prepare to twist. Setting your right fingertips behind you, extend your left arm up toward the ceiling as you breathe in, and as you exhale, hug or hinge the left knee with your elbow, and take 3 full breaths to rotate. Grounding and lengthening on your inhale, engaging your abdominals as you exhale to help stabilize your pelvis and support your low back as you twist. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Gaze steady. And one more full breath in here. And as you exhale, release, relaxing your right knee out to the side, placing your right sole to the inner seam of your left leg. For Janushisasana, your torso rotates slightly to the left now. Anchor down into your sit bones, lifting equally through the sides of your waist, reaching your arms up to frame your ears, And exhale to forward fold over the midline of your left leg. So just prioritize maintaining length through the front of your spine here. So you're not overreaching or rounding the spine to catch your foot. Staying easeful in your body and perhaps pulsing with your breath. And inhale to lift. Find a little bit more space and exhale to fold. And one more deep breath in here. And exhale to rotate and lift, setting your right hand behind you, lifting your hips and swaying your left arm overhead now. Expand across the front of your body, side waist, supporting that lift with a light squeeze to your right buttocks. Breathing deeply. And as you exhale, set yourself down, placing your right heel now towards your pelvis and draw your left foot up, bending the knee, interweave your fingers underneath the left foot, leaning softly back, growing longer through your spine as you breathe in, and as you exhale, raise the left leg to a right angle. Deep breath in here, and exhale, straighten your left leg any amount, pointing your gaze up toward your big toe, actively engaging your left thigh muscles. Deep breath in and exhale, release. Taking both feet to the floor now, knees bent. Lean back into your hands behind you and just wipe the knees, left and then right. Windshield wipering the legs, relaxing and softening through the hips. And then from here we're going to make our way onto all fours. Just coming over the legs and placing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, hip distance apart. And pushing the floor away with everything you've got in contact with the mat. We'll just barrel roll the spine. So sending the ribs out to the left and then rounding the spine, ribs out to the right. And gently softening the belly as you circle back. A couple more rounds in this direction. And keeping your breath smooth and steady. And circle back the other way. Movement slow, in time with your breath. And as you return to center here, just hover your knees. So tuck the toes there and let the knees hover a couple of centimeters from the floor. Push down through your hands and stay wide across your collarbones. And take a tiny step forward with your right foot and then the left foot, and tiny step back with your right foot and then the left foot, and then just pick up the pace, stepping forward and back, hovering the knees, firming in and up through the abdominal core, pushing into the hands so you've got that rebounding energy coming up the arms, supporting you. And then we'll keep it rolling as you step back, take a long stride back, push into the hands, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just here for a beat, little bend in the knees. And then as you breathe out, come into bear pose. So rock forward, hover the knees just where you were before, and then press back, downward facing dog. And then alternate between the two. You can go at any pace that feels good. Moving with your breath, stretching a little deeper into the backs of your legs as you return to downward dog. And then next time you are in downward facing dog, just pause there, lengthening through your arm bones, spreading all your fingers equally. And then bend both knees here toward the floor, shins parallel with the floor. And as you breathe out, straighten your right leg, heel toward the floor, rebend the knees, and then the left leg straightens, and then just alternate, double bend and then a stretch, and we'll start to warm up through the top of the thigh muscles. There's a rest coming up for your hands and your wrists. Just keep moving with your breath, a few more each side. and last one, each side. And arrive in your downward dog and start to walk your hands back toward your feet at the back edge of your mat. Keep your feet set up hip distance apart, and when you arrive, just sliding the hands underneath the soles of your feet. So we'll stretch out the wrists now, bend your knees really deeply, let your torso sit on your thighs, drop the crown of your head so it points down toward the floor. Try and wriggle the toes up to the wrist creases. If that's not possible and you're a long way off, just catch opposite elbows here, an easy forward fold. If you are standing on your hands, lightly tip your weight forward toward your toes as you pull up on your hands. Draw the shoulder blades up toward your tailbone. And let your breath rest. One more full breath in and out. And stepping off your hands, keep your fingertips on the floor here and walk your feet away from one another, out wide, and angle the toes out, your heels in, bend your knees deeply, flexing at your hips and bringing your weight into your heels. And then reach forward with your arms, so your arms frame your ears, and you're in a nice deep squat, buttocks back, abdominals engaged. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, swim your right arm back behind you, and then swim it forward to meet the left. Left arm back, and forward, and just switch. And keep maintaining that heaviness in your heels, so your weight's back, your knees are in line with the middle toes. And then taking both arms back behind you, rotate your palms up and just pulse your arms up, activating the muscles in your upper back. So little pulses, palms are faced up, fingertips reaching back, torso's reaching forward, parallel with the floor. Just feeling your upper back start to work for you. And gently release. Just sink your weight down now toward the floor. Knees are wide, reach your arms forward to the floor, rounding through your spine and bowing in. And just pause and breathe, take a few rounds of breath. And letting your breath touch your back body, bottom, middle and top of your spine there. And then from here, allow your knees to come to the floor and land them hip width apart here, making your way into child's pose, Balasana, and wrapping your arms back alongside your body, letting your head rest. Inviting your breath to wrap all the way up in between the shoulder blades, your belly to soften, letting go of the effort in your arms. And as you feel yourself breathe in now, sweep your arms up skywards, raise the hips up over the knees, and as you exhale, scoop your hands back, lower your buttocks. And we'll do that twice more. Breathe in, reach up, firm abdominals, exhale, scoop the hands back, come back to child's pose. Breathing in, reach up, and exhale, curl into a little ball. And this time as you breathe in, stay upright and balance here on your left knee and shin, and extend your right leg out to the side to come into gate pose. So your right toes line up with your left knee, arms float out wide to a T. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, take your right hand to your right leg, left arm straight up toward the ceiling, or overhead toward your right. So pressing into your foundation, lightly move your hips forward so you're leaning out to the right and encouraging the left side of your body to lengthen. As you inhale, come back to center and exhale over to the opposite side, taking the left leg out to the side, making sure your left leg feels active and engaged. Left hand down, right arm up or overhead. So trying to access a feeling of space between your ribs as you breathe. You might be able to tip a little deeper as you breathe out. Turning your upper torso away from the floor. And taking 2 more deep breaths here. Hips slightly forward, extending through the right side as the left side of your torso contracts. And releasing. And just bring your buttocks back toward your heels into child's pose. And this time extending your arms forward. So as you creep the fingers forward, take your little fingers to the edges of your mat, spread all your fingers equally. And just bowing in, torso resting on your thighs, feel the movement of your breath. Breathing in, gliding up onto all fours. And as you exhale, tuck your toes and make your way back into downward facing dog. And finding that optimal distance between the back of your hands and your toes there. Long enough stride to really feel the whole back body lengthening equally through the back of the legs, the spine and the arms. Make full contact with all the base knuckles of your fingers. Leaning heavy into your heels. One more full breath in and out. Bringing your toes together at the back of your mat. Raise your right leg up and back as you breathe in, coming into down dog splits. And as you exhale, bring your knee in toward your nose, round your spine, push into your hands. And as you breathe in, send the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, take your right knee to your upper right arm, rocking forward again, rounding the spine. Inhale, right leg up and back. And as you exhale, right knee to your upper left arm. Cross-legged lunge in the air. Inhale, down dog splits. And as you exhale here, place your right toes to the back of your left heel and encourage your left heel to descend down toward the floor. Keep that even pressure into your hands and breathe. Placing your right foot down next to your left, and we'll switch for the other side. Left leg rising as you breathe in. Knee toward your nose as you breathe out. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, left knee to the upper left arm. Breathe in, left leg extending. Exhale, cross-legged lunge in the air. Squeeze in and up through the belly. Inhale, reach the left leg up and back. And as you exhale, slowly lower the left toes to the back of your right heel and encourage your heel down toward the floor. And release, coming back into downward facing dog. And a light bend in your knees there. Send your gaze forward between your hands and travel to the top edge of your mat. Set your feet up hip distance apart there and catch opposite elbows, folding forward. You can place a deep bend in the knees there if it feels more comfortable through the low back spine. Just allowing your spine to cascade down, no tension in the neck. Relaxing the expression in your face, and perhaps just taking a rock forward and back, side to side. And let your arms fall to the floor, hang in ragdoll here, body floppy, deep bend in the knees, and then slowly pushing down through your feet, rise up to stand, sweeping the arms out and up overhead. Then rest your hands to your heart center. And so heel your feet together. Let the big toes touch, spread all your toes. And we'll move through 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms overhead, send your gaze up to the tip of your thumbs. Exhale, folding forward over the legs. Inhale, coming up halfway, slide your hands to your shins, extend through your spine, front body, and as you exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. Pause there as you breathe in, gaze forward, abs engaged, and as you exhale, you can drop your knees here to the floor, take a modified push-up all the way down to the floor, keeping your elbows tucked in here, bring the ribs forward, firm the belly, the legs, peel up, cobra pose. And as you exhale, transitioning back to downward facing dog. Take about 5 deep breaths. Feeling for an even cadence to your breath. Ribs expanding as you breathe in. Navel toward your spine as you breathe out. Breathing in, gazing forward, little bend in the knees, end of your exhale, step to the top edge of your mat. Bringing the toes together when you arrive, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, empty the lungs. Rise to stand as you breathe in, send your gaze up. Exhale, rest your hands to your heart. Second round, arm sweep overhead, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. Breathe in, straight legs, flat back, look forward. Exhale, place the hands, step back, plank pose. Take an extra breath here. Exhale, low push-up, chaturanga. And come into your back bend, your choice. Mild arc to the spine. And as you exhale, firm belly, roll back nice and slow. Downward facing dog. 5 full breaths. Feel the sides of your waist lengthen through the reach of your arms. Front of the thighs engaged. Deep breath in, gazing forward. End of your exhale, bend the knees, lightly step to the top edge of your mat. Toes come together, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Rise all the way to stand, breathe in. Exhale, hands rest to your heart center. Next breath in, sweep your arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And as you exhale this time, step your right foot back, come into low lunge. Right knee to the floor. When you're steady, arms rise overhead. Pause for a few breaths here. You want to feel that your right buttocks are lightly engaged. And without moving them, your heels dragging back toward the back edge of your mat. Your back knee is engaged and gripping the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, make your way into half split. So hands underneath the shoulders, rocking your hips back, straightening out through your left leg, curling your left toes back toward you, and trying to avoid locking your left knee, keep the quads engaged. Long, unwrinkled feeling through the front of your body. From here we're transitioning into a high lunge. Tuck your back toes, rock your weight forward, really slowly come up. Your arms can rise alongside your ears, or you can keep your hands at your hips until you steady. It'll help here if your left foot's over in the left lane and you're not standing on a beam, so your feet are hip width apart. Nice deep stretch through the front of the right thigh. Trying to keep the pelvis level, your abdominals, front of the pelvis lifting up, extending through the sides of your waist. Perhaps lifting, inflating your chest, sending the gaze up. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, take your hands to the floor, fingertips down to frame your front foot. And from here we'll work into pyramid variation. So without landing your back heels, stay on the balls of the toes and start to straighten the front leg any amount. And you might find you still have a little micro bend in the knee. You might find that you need to take the hands up the front leg just to support yourself. Encourage your spine to lengthen and your hips to come into balance. Press down through your big toe mound, front foot, and the inner heel to keep you balanced. Re-bending your front knee, plant the hands. We'll take a Vinyasa or simply step back to downward facing dog if you need to do less. Moving from your high to low push-up if you're taking your Vinyasa, upward dog or cobra, and downward facing dog. Bringing your toes together here at the back of the mat, raise your right leg up and back, breathing in. And as you exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your hands on the right side. So we'll come into lizard pose. If you need to help your right foot along toward the top edge of your mat, do that. Hands on the inside of your right foot and keep the back leg lifting. You can take a gentle rock forward and back, just making sure your right knee's positioned over your ankle. You're reaching out through your heel and chest is moving forward through your arms. And then reframe your front foot with your fingertips and walk your right foot over into the left lane, crossing the midline of your body. And then from here we're going to step the left foot up. So the legs cross, left foot steps up next to the right and your pinky toes line up. We'll take a halfway lift, breathe in. And exhale, cross-legged forward fold, catch opposite elbows and fold here. You might find both knees have a little bend in them, that's okay. Keeping your breath even and smooth. Feel all four corners of your feet here and keep the cross in your legs. We're going to rise to stand on your in-breath, reach the arms overhead. And then press your hands to your heart center. You're going to step your right foot out to the right side and sweep your arms up overhead here. Take your right hand to your left wrist and we'll take a side bend to your right. And just pause and breathe. Keep yourself on that lateral plane without turning your belly button toward the floor. As you breathe in, we're going to balance here on the left foot. Bring your arms back up. Raise the right knee. Point the knee forward. Just pause. Find your balance. If you need to reset, just do that. Find your focus. Give your eyes and brain a single point of focus. And then start to bend your left knee. We're coming into eagle pose, Garudasana. Right leg over the top of the left leg. Right toes can tap to the outside of your left foot, or you can hook your foot around the back of your calf if that's accessible. Float the arms out wide, take your left arm on top now, your right arm under, and press your palms. Or you can catch opposite shoulders here if your shoulders are tight. And just making a little bit of a ledge with your left leg. So you're sitting down, your buttocks move back, low belly engages. Holding your balance, your focus, your patience, and gently unravel. We're just going to step the toes together here, unravel the whole body, release the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to the heart center. And taking one half forward fold to reset and find your center, arms sweep up overhead, breathe in. Exhale, dive forward over your legs, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Arms rise as you breathe in. Exhale, hands to your heart. Deep breath in, arms overhead, second side. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, lengthen your spine. Breathe out, step your left foot back to low lunge. So take your time to set yourself up here. Reach the arms up alongside your ears. And you're trying not to come into a very deep back bend here. So if you are a little bit more mobile through the hips and the spine, see if you can just draw your front ribs in so your upper and lower abdominals feel engaged. There's a light squeeze to your left buttocks. And the weight's falling down into your front heel, big toe mound. And find more expansion through the sides of the waist as you lift up through your arms. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, coming into half splits, Ardha Hanuman, fingertips underneath the shoulders. Gently rock your weight back and straighten out through your right leg. Curl the toes back toward your face. Push out through the balls of your toes toward the front edge of your mat. And rather than rounding the spine here, keep your chest open so your collarbones are smiling open. Breathing your full breath. And from here we transition into high lunge. Land the sole of the right foot, tuck the back toes and slowly rise up. Hands can come to your hips or reach the arms up. And with your arms a little higher here, if you have them reaching, you've got a higher center of gravity, so that always makes balancing a little bit more challenging. So as you lower your arms, you can perhaps steady yourself. And then check in with your form, so you're not dumping into the low back, you feel very engaged through your abdominal core. Sides of the waist are lifting. And your breath has an even cadence. Gaze is steady. Deep breath in. Exhale, fingertips to the floor to set up for pyramid variation. So here we just lift the hips and work towards straightening the front leg, staying on the balls of our back toes. Folding in any amount. You might find that you're a little bit more elevated here and your hands can rest on your leg. You're just moving within your own range of motion and the shape that works for your body. Let your breath settle into its pace. And enjoy the stretch. You re-bend your front knee, or take a vinyasa, or simply step back to downward facing dog, moving from high to low push-up, upward dog or cobra. No rush, unhurried breath, downward facing dog. Bringing your toes together when you arrive, raise your left leg up and back, down dog splits. And as you exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your hands over in the left lane there for lizard. Hands arrive on the inside of your left leg, left knee hugs to the upper left arm. And keep your back leg straightening out. elevated from the floor, reaching out through your heel. And you can take a little rock forward and back here. Keep your chest bright, your breath moving at a steady pace. And reframing your front foot, we're going to walk the left foot over into the right lane, crossing the midline of your body. And once you have it over, step your right foot up. So the legs cross, pinky toes line up. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Catch your opposite elbows or forearms there. Allow yourself to drape over your legs. Your head and neck can relax here. And keep the cross of your legs push evenly down through all four corners of your feet. Rise to stand. And then rest your hands to your heart. Stepping your left foot out to your left side, sweep your arms up overhead for your side bend. Taking your left hand to your right wrist now and side bend to your left. Take a few breaths there, emphasizing length through the right side of your waist now. Gently contracting the muscles through the left side waist. As you breathe in, come to stand, arms alongside your ears. You're balancing on your right foot here. Raise your left knee and just find your balance. And once you have your balance, wrap your left leg over the top of your right leg. You can tap the toes to the floor there or hook the foot. And taking your right arm on top, your left arm under for eagle arm, Scarudasana. Everything hugs to the midline of your body here. Legs squeezed together, abdominals are engaged, zipping up through the plumb line of your body. You can lean your forearms forward as you drop your shoulders. Keep your gaze soft and fuzzy toward where your elbows cross. Gently releasing, step the toes together, uncross the legs, sweep the arms up overhead, one half forward fold. Exhale, dive forward over the legs. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Rise to stand as you breathe in. And exhale, rest your hands to your heart center. Pausing here, Tadasana. Take a few rounds of breath. And then from here, coming into a squat. So just walking the feet away from one another, turning your toes out, your heels in. Sweep the arms up overhead, breathe in. And exhale, bring the hands to press and slowly make your way down, bending the knees. And sitting on the back of your legs if that's available to you. If not, just stay a little bit more elevated. Gently squeezing the knees to the elbows there and resisting with the elbows. Getting a light stretch through the inner thighs and groins. And we'll return to this position shortly. We're going to come down onto our back for a short abdominal sequence. We'll come all the way down onto the back, into the middle of the mat, hug the knees in toward your chest. And then from here, we're going to take the legs straight up toward the ceiling. So even if you have a little bend in the knees, that's okay. Legs toward the ceiling, toes pointing, and keep your head resting down on the mat. From here, we're going to lower the legs any amount, and then circle the legs away from one another and bring them back up to 90 degrees. So lower the legs as much as you feel comfortable. That could be to a hover above the floor if you're really strong in the core. Could be just very subtle lower to about 45 degrees. You want to keep the arc in your low back to a minimum so your abdominals are pressing back toward your back body. And just stay with that sequence. Got a couple more here. And then circle it back the other way. So circle wide, lower, and lift. And trying to keep your upper body as relaxed as possible, except for your abdominal core. And come back to center. Hug your right knee in now and extend your left leg out to 45 degrees. And this time your head lifts, so you're lifting your head and your heart, resting on the low part of your shoulder blades. And as you breathe in, you're going to extend your right leg to meet your left and arms overhead. And exhale, catch your right knee back in. So just stay with that sequence. And if it's too strong for you, you can raise the left leg a little bit more. Or you can take the arms out wide to the side instead of overhead. So trying to keep the integrity in your movement, move a little slower so you really feel your muscles switch on in your abdominal core. And switching sides, so we'll bring the left knee in, right leg out straight. Once you're set, arms overhead, left leg straightens, and then left knee in. And the whole time your right leg's hovering at your perfect angle. And exhale as the knee comes in, inhale as you reach away. Last few here. And then catch your hands interlaced behind the back of your head. Keep your head lifting, legs straight up toward the ceiling now. And bring your legs a little wider apart so they're in a V shape. So from here, really lift up. So your abdominal core's engaged, head's lifting, deep breath in. As you exhale, cross your right arm to the outside of the left leg. And then bring your hand back to the back of your head and just switch. So you're lifting and twisting and trying to reach as far over as you can, really lifting almost your shoulder blade up off the floor as you reach and twist. This is the last activity here before we hug into a little ball. Stick with it. Last two each side. And rest. Knees in toward your chest. Rest your head back. And give yourself a little rock side to side. So 2 options here. If you feel like you've still got a little bit of energy and you'd like to practice crow pose or kakasana, come along with me. If you prefer to and you'd like a more gentler practice, take an easy twist here. Knees could stack. You could cross one leg over the other and take a twist through the spine, reclined. If you're practicing crow, we're going to utilize all the warmth and awareness we have in our abdominal core now. Our spine and hips are open. We're going to rock up to come onto our feet at the top edge of the mat. So take a few rock and rolls, a little bit of momentum, and come to stand on your feet. So bring your big toes as close together as you can and widen your knees wider than your torso. Bring your hands to the floor. Spreading and anchoring through your hands. Placing your knees to your upper arms as close to your armpits as possible. And fixing your gaze forward, and start to transfer your weight into your hands, shifting your elbows over your wrists, rounding into the middle back, hugging the belly in, and just play with taking one foot off the floor or take flight, both feet off. Heels lift toward your buttocks, toes stay flexed. And land lightly, make your way down onto your back, and we'll all meet up here. And if you'd like a more detailed pose breakdown of crow, I have a dedicated tutorial which breaks down all the alignment cues and tips there. So from here we're on our backs, we're hugging the knees in, taking a little rock side to side. And we'll finish off with lengthening out through the front of the body as we approach the end of the practice. Taking both feet to the floor, hip distance apart, arms alongside the body, setting up for bridge pose and some variations. So a nice deep breath in here. As you exhale, flatten out through your low back spine. And as you breathe in, raise the hips. Try and keep your thighs parallel with one another and lift up into a comfortable arch through your body. So try to avoid pinching through the low back, and if you feel that, just lower down a little. Keep the integrity in the pose in your body. Pressing down through all four corners of your feet. We're just going to pulse here. So press the hips up and lower the buttocks to a hover. Pressing the hips up and lowering. And just move at your own pace. And you're working the back muscles here, but you're also lengthening through the front of your spine and the abdominals, the area that we've just worked. So it's a nice complementary pose. And then find neutral, still lifted. Raise your heels. So you're just balancing on the balls of your toes here. Try and keep those thighs parallel. Buttocks engaged, and just a few little pulses here. Lifting the hips, not as large a movement as we just did. Just little pulses, squeezing the buttocks. Keep pressing down with everything you've got in contact with the mat. Back of the shoulders, back of the arms. And stay lifted, but just land your heels down, whole soles of the foot on the floor. And then from here, we're going to take our knees wide away from one another. So you come onto the pinky toe side of the foot, and then really slowly squeeze the inner thighs toward one another. So hips stay lifted. You should be able to feel your adductors, your inner thigh muscles working here, using your own body's resistance to lengthen and then squeeze in toward each other. Just a few more. Nearly there. Big stretch coming up. And release. Lay all the way down through your spine. Let your buttocks land. And gather the knees in toward your chest. Well done. Little rock side to side. Anything that feels good here. And we'll take our left foot to the floor. And taking your right ankle to the top of your left knee, setting up for a reclined pigeon pose. Weaving the hands in behind the left knee. And picking up the foot and gently drawing the left knee back toward you. Guiding the right knee out. So it is externally rotating. And should be able to experience a stretch here in the deep buttocks muscles, outer hip. Keep your right toes flexed, your head resting back. And take 3 more smooth breaths. And release. And we'll just set up for the other side. Right foot to the floor, left ankle, top of the right knee. And drawing the right knee in toward your body. And starting to let your breath relax. And release. From here, widen the feet away from one another and windshield wiper the knees over to your left. Just pause and linger there for a few moments. Top of the right thigh stretching out, mild twists through the spine. Deep breath in and exhale over to the other side. Just boogie the feet so they feel comfortable for you. Extending through the top of your left thigh now. And with a firm belly coming all the way back to center, slip your hands behind the back of your knees, take a little rock and roll and come all the way up to sit. We'll finish with a forward fold, Paschimottanasana, extending both legs out straight when you arrive, toes flexed. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms up alongside your ears. And as you exhale, a forward fold here in your range of motion. Hands rest, front of the spine extending. And gently bow in. And whenever you're ready, either arranging yourself into a comfortable seat, if you'd like to complete your practice in seated meditation, or resting back into Shavasana, corpse pose, laying your body out on the mat. Invite your arms to rest away from your body, your palms face up. And your feet a little wider than your hips. Heels heavy. Chance to let go of all your effort now to complete your practice. Gently shutting down the eyes. Emptying your body weight into the support beneath you. And just start to sense your breath. Quiet and natural, spontaneous. And just follow your breath here. Breathing in through the nostrils toward the crown of your head. Dropping your breath down toward your throat. Breathe in through the throat toward the crown of your head. Breathe out toward your heart center. Breathe in, heart center, toward the crown of your head. Breathe out, down toward the pelvis, the hips. Let your breath in through the hips toward the crown of your head. Let your breath float down your body, down the legs to the edge of your toes. Full body breath from the toes to the crown of your head. Full body exhale, let go, release, and relax. And gently, gently drifting your awareness back. And start to breathe a brighter breath, waking your body up with your breath. Bringing some movement to your body. And if you're laying back there, bending your knees, taking your feet to the floor. Resting over to your right side, take a moment. And let your eyes adjust to the light in your room. And very slowly drag yourself all the way back up. Namaste, yogis.